Welcome to a bonus episode of the Cosmic Sky podcast. I just decided to do another episode tonight because I was feeling in the mood to do an episode on the planet Jupiter, and I have not talked about the planet Jupiter in this podcast as of yet. I do have a video on that on my YouTube channel that I did back in January, but I want to do an official episode going in depth about the meaning of the planet Jupiter. So tonight I'm going to be discussing that because I've gone through most of the Jupiter signs in this podcast. I'm going to get to Jupiter and Taurus, although I'm kind of putting that up because I already did a video about that, but I still want to do it again to see what new things I may have to say in that video. It may bring up a lot of aspects that I want to talk about with that, with Jupiter and Taurus that I may get to later on, but I just wanted to talk about Jupiter tonight. So, Jupiter and astrology, the planet Jupiter, I want to get into it. Normally I give an introduction with these videos, but I didn't want to do that because I just wanted to sort of go into it directly. So, Jupiter is about growth. It's about being in one place, at one stage, with whatever sign that you're in, with whatever you're doing. It's about being one place and growing, expanding out of that one place, getting out of your immediate environment, your immediate vicinity, your present moment, the books on your shelf, the people in your life, your community, and growing out of that, expanding your horizons. It's about expansion, and it's about taking risks. It's an energy that relates to risk-taking. Really taking risks and going big. Jupiter says, get out of your comfort zone. Try something that you've never done before. Take chances. Make mistakes. Take risks. Do what you're uncomfortable with. Expand your skills. Expand your worldview. Expand your perspective. Expand what you already can do and make it major for the whole world and buffers. Make it what it truly can be with risk-taking. So it shows where and how we take risks in our life. Now, Jupiter also rules the laws that govern society. It looks at these laws very, very critically. Looks at all the laws that exist in society, with what goes on in society. So laws in terms of right and wrong, rules over justice, it rules over all those kinds of systems. Rules over philosophy, religion, and Jupiter rules over wisdom. Something important to know about Jupiter. Wisdom is knowledge gained through experience and deep reflection and deep contemplation and deep thought, and it's really, really profound. Like you really, really understand knowledge to the core of your being with wisdom, and you really feel and have integrated that knowledge in a way where you have a lot of insight with it. That's what wisdom can give you. And so it's also, with wisdom can be philosophy. And I want to just discuss philosophy real quick here. When it comes to Jupiter and philosophy, Jupiter asks the big questions about life. Jupiter is about the big questions that are based off of what I read about philosophy was about existence. Asking questions about why are we here? What's the world really like? What's going on in the world? What's really playing a part in the world, and understanding the world at a deeper, more spiritual level. questioning about knowledge with Jupiter. Really getting into knowledge. Philosophy is knowledge, and the mind is about that. Rules over how comfortable we feel taking those risks in our life. And Jupiter also rules over abundance. Jupiter is kind of like how you feel after you eat the Thanksgiving meal, or how you feel when you are on a roller coaster. It's exhilaration, it's pleasure, it's fun, it's joy, it's all these big, fun, positive things. Jupiter is all positive, but it can have some negatives. With that positive comes negatives. With those roses come thorns, and so it can be abundance. That's what it can really turn into, is abundance. The feeling of abundance, feeling really prosperous. And I just want to look up abundance to see what is said. Spiritual abundance is feeling, as it says here, fulfilled, peaceful, content. Doesn't have to do with the outside world. Doesn't have to do with external wealth. It has to do with a higher purpose, trusting in the universe, trusting in the divine, trusting in spirit. So, Jupiter can be about really all about that feeling of contentment that we feel, that feeling of like, our life is positive, our life is going in a positive direction. Everything is going good for us. Everything is going wonderful for us. We feel so good. We feel so elated. We feel so warm and grateful. And just good, secure, safe, comfortable, abundant in our, skin. So that's what abundance is. And Jupiter is also about faith. It's also about faith. How we can have faith that things can be better, that we can have a better tomorrow, that we can live in a better way, that things are going to get better, that we're going to experience life better, that we can experience it in a much grander, much more philosophical context. The thing that, Jupiter gives us faith and optimism, like, it's going to get better. It's going to be good. We're going to have fun. Like, Jupiter is about expecting the best. Not negative Nelly, Saturn, harsh reality, that whole thing. But Jupiter is expecting the best. Expecting the bounty, expecting the joy, expecting all this optimism. And so Jupiter has faith. Because Jupiter trusts the universe. Trusts in the higher plan. Trusts in spirit. It just has an optimism, higher point of view about life that is so up there in the charts when it comes to living a high vibrational positive life. So Jupiter is how you gain your luck. In your natal chart is how you gain your luck. It shows prosperity, what makes you feel prosperous, what makes you feel wealthy and abundant. What makes you feel happy and abundant. Like, that's how we just describe prosperity. Like, what is true prosperity for you? What makes you feel prosperous? Whenever I do this podcast, I feel very prosperous in my life. Whenever I prepare a nice meal, I feel prosperous. Whenever I'm watching something that I enjoy, I feel very prosperous. That's where I gain my prosperity. And all that. When I do those shorts that come out every day, that I'm just starting, I also feel prosperous with that. So, it rules over higher meaning and purpose. higher meaning. What is the higher meaning? What is the higher truth? And I think that it's important to go into higher meaning. The more advanced meaning. It is, we are interconnected. It like feeling interconnected to the all is really what it comes down to. Well, that's kind of not what I wanted to get to, but it really gets to that sort of direction that I want to go in, and it is where I want it to be very, very easily. Well, that was just dead air, so please forgive me. So, higher meaning and purpose. With Jupiter, it gives you a sense of purpose. I'm not going to edit that out, by the way. A higher sense of purpose about life. Feeling like there's meaning in your life. Feeling like there's this higher philosophical meaning. Now, Jupiter is very, very generous. It is about giving. It is about sharing. It is, we feel so abundant, so happy, so filled with joy and luck and optimism and in good spirits that we just want to just give to others because of this wonderful, good, just great energy that we feel. So, we want to share our wealth with others, be it material or intellectual wealth. Justice and morality rules over a sense of morality, loving, from right and wrong. It rules over ethics. So that is what I wanted to discuss. And morality is about human behavior. Ethics, as I said, right and wrong, good and bad. So, now, it rules your attitude and approach to growth and exploration. Jupiter is about travel, exploring the world, expanding your horizons, getting out of your perspective. Because through travel, we expand. We go to new places that we've never been. We look to new cultures that we've never looked in. And our perspective changes. You can see how things are similar and different. Through travel, we can see how things are all interconnected, but how diverse things actually are. And we can really appreciate the different cultures. And we can really, really grow on that level. So, through traveling. So Jupiter in Sagittarius, for example, so Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Jupiter rules Pisces. Those are the two rules. Jupiter in Sagittarius is the main rule. Jupiter in Pisces is considered the ancient rule of Pisces. Pisces used to be ruled by Jupiter, but it's now currently ruled by Neptune, but Pisces is ruled by Jupiter also, because it was the ancient ruler. And so Jupiter in Sagittarius is adventurous. It's explorative. It's about, learning. What I read about Jupiter in Sagittarius is this is the more kind of explorative version of Sagittarius, and in my mind, it's the more masculine expression of Jupiter. It's about learning and travel and fun and joy and luck and bounty and all that. Jupiter in Sagittarius is the more feminine expression of Jupiter, where it can be more about compassion. It's very, very compassionate. It's deeply compassionate. It's deeply empathetic. It's deeply spiritual. And Jupiter in Cancer, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, is very, very nurturing and protective. It's very, very, I discussed Jupiter in Cancer just last Wednesday. How, last Tuesday on this podcast, and how Jupiter in Cancer believes in people because it cares and because it feels, and it has great faith. It's about fertility and growth and nurturing and warmth and comfort and all that. All those good, yummy feelings, and that's kind of why Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So, the house area that Jupiter is in shows how it can show itself in someone's life. That's what it shows, mark my words. Because the house shows how Jupiter, in its expression, can show itself up in somebody else's life. How someone goes about learning and exploring. It's in the houses are the where, basically. Now the signs that Jupiter is in show how Jupiter expresses growth, learning, philosophy. It shows the strengths and challenges that play really, really hugely with growth and philosophy based off of the sign and based off of the aspects made to that Jupiter, which aspects Jupiter is making. Really. So, that can be really, really huge factors that can play into this. Now, the aspects to Jupiter show how its expansive qualities are expressed. More as how, depending, it can depend. Sometimes it shows up more positively, shows up more negatively. Depends upon, if there's a lot of trines or sextiles, then it's more positive. If there are, depending upon the planet involved, conjunctions or squares or oppositions, those can be more difficult, more challenging. So Jupiter shows how, the expansive qualities are expressed, and Jupiter expands whatever it touches. Whenever Jupiter moves through a sign, it just blows it up. It's like we have this sign, we're making it even bigger than it was before. So Jupiter wants to make it even bigger. Well, let's just blow this thing up. Let's just expand this thing. Let's just be overwhelmingly big and expansive, and take up as much, like Jupiter says, take up as much space as you want to, because Jupiter is a big gas giant that's so much bigger than Earth. And it was kind of a dominator in space history where it did that. So Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and it really, really is self-growth. Self-growth, but in a higher, more optimistic and philosophical way. And I want to look up self-growth to see what it is. It's the continual journey of improving who you are. And really live your life to the fullest. Really do the maximum of what you're capable of. So that's what I want to say about that. Okay. So, Jupiter retrograde. Jupiter retrogrades last for 4 months out of the year. 4 months. And this is the time where, and we discussed Jupiter retrograde in the birth chart on another podcast episode sometime, but Jupiter retrograde, it is a time period that's focused on, reflecting on how much we have grown. How much we have grown in our lives. How much we have expanded. And it's more on, inner growth, inner exploration. We're going inside ourselves to look at how we can, the new revelations, the new discoveries that we discover about ourselves, self-discovery, the new truths that we find that come up, the new beliefs that we find that come up inside of ourselves. So that's the way it is. And then introspection is also huge with Jupiter retrograde. We're more introspective, like retrogrades are a time when we go in, where we reflect. And it's more about reviewing things. And reviewing our life, and then looking at our beliefs. Looking at what do we believe? What truly do we believe? apart from anything else telling us you must believe this, you must do this, you must think this, you must, like dogma or whatever. That's the lower of Sagittarius energy, is dogma. It's the shadow of Sagittarius. Is thinking that you know more than others and that you're superior and that you're more wise than others, when true wisdom is really humility and curiosity, not thinking that you know everything. Because a truly wise person is a lifelong learner. So, looking at, really looking deeply at our beliefs, and then reviewing the opportunities that we were previously presented with over the period that Jupiter was previously direct, moving forward in the sky. So we're reviewing those opportunities, and really asking yourself, like, do our goals align with our values? Is what we are doing, is what we are pursuing in our life, does it align with what we truly believe? Like, does it align with what we truly want and what we truly feel and what we truly... You place a lot of very, very important matter and emphasis on. Does it align with those values, with those beliefs? And that's what we're asking ourselves during this time. So it looks at inner exploration and reflection. We are reflecting. Retrogrades are about reflecting. And so Jupiter in transit, when it's transiting, it changes things when it comes to growth and learning. It changes things up when it comes to those areas. And then transits support people in growing through changes which deals with their philosophical and spiritual look at life. Those with Jupiter retrograde in their charts may need to work harder in their lives. Like, I have Jupiter retrograde in my chart. And the whole thing about luck and growth and abundance, and really just feeling abundant the more you learn about something, and not just the idea of it, not just the less, not just, okay, so feeling abundant, learning to feel more abundant the more you learn about something, and not just feeling like you're going to ruin it and spoil it if you learn too much, look too much into it and learn too much about it, and asking the questions but not getting the answers, and not interested in learning and growth, but just wanting to learn as little as you can, as opposed to as much as you can. That's kind of what I'm working through, and also faith, joy, luck. I mean, it is in Virgo, so I get bogged down in the minutia of things. I will talk about Jupiter retrograde in another podcast episode. But anyway, so they may need to work harder to, live out the energy fully. And so Jupiter looks at our superpower. What we're just so good at, what we're just so talented at, what just comes so naturally to us. And it's about our talents, our gifts, what helps us to really shine in the world. What we feel proud of. What we really feel a lot of pride and confidence, and what we feel is very, very significant for us in our lives that we enjoy. Jupiter reveals what you have to teach and whom do you share that knowledge with, depending upon the sign in the house that Jupiter is in. So if it's Jupiter in Scorpio, you're teaching about transformation and energy exchange and keeping things private and growth and death and rebirth, and you're sharing that knowledge maybe to, if you're a therapist, maybe your patients, your clients, or your close family, because Scorpio is a very private sign, so it's all relative to that. So it can be about taking risks in your career, relationship, or any area of your life, really. So as I said before, rules your sense of right and wrong, your morals, your ethics. It rules wisdom traditions. Now, at worst, Jupiter can be overindulgence, overdoing it, overkill, overindulging in pleasure, food, alcohol, learning, traveling, doing whatever it is, where you are noticing, okay, and it takes self-awareness to really, really notice, like, okay, I'm engaging in this, I'm overdoing it, and I need to dial it back, and this has become too much, and I feel drained by it, and so I need to dial it back and moderate myself. Like, that's what Jupiter can really, really look at with that. So it takes this wise and philosophical soul that's all about growth and expansion and the higher wisdom, and it's this overindulging party animal that has no limits, no boundaries, no off button, and it goes over the top, and it gets itself carried away, like Jupiter and Sagittarius can easily get itself carried away. It wants to travel. Jupiter is about travel. Jupiter is about seeking the truth, finding those true answers, finding that true spiritual meaning, and getting out of our comfort zone. Really, really expanding out of our comfort zone, as I said before. So your ideals, your truths, your beliefs is ruled by Jupiter. Now, it takes roughly 12 years for Jupiter to go around the entire zodiac. So, like Jupiter's in Cancer right now. Back in 2013, 2014, Jupiter was in Cancer. That was 12 years ago. So it takes 12 years, 12, roughly 12 years, sometimes 12 to 13 years for it to circle around the entire zodiac, for it to return to the place that it was in your birth. And so you have your Jupiter return at age 12, and then age 24, 36, 48, 60, or whatever. Like, those are the ages of the Jupiter return. So spending 1 year in each sign, really. So it's fallen Capricorn, and the reason why is because if Jupiter's about expansion and growth and optimism and faith and new knowledge, Capricorn is serious and restrictive and cautious and negative, pessimistic, super realistic, not wanting to change, not wanting to really grow out of its comfort zone and what it already knows. It wants the tried and true, doesn't want the unconventional. Jupiter is also what we reveal to others, because in Jupiter energy, we feel extroverted. We feel, we're an open book in Jupiter energy. We just share all of our stuff out publicly and openly to others because we're feeling so generous, we're feeling so uplifted and positive. And don't you just share more stuff? Or are you just more open when you feel expansive, optimistic, abundant, and positive? Don't you do that? Isn't it natural to do that? So that is why, that is the way that is. It's very, very open and generous. And with Jupiter energy, we can really explore the world and connect with those with different backgrounds than our own. So, exploring the world around us, traveling, and looking at those who have a different ethnicity, have a different religion, have a different culture, to expand our mind and expand our perspective on life. So that is really Jupiter in astrology. This was a short podcast episode. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Cosmic Sky Podcast. We are at our 90th episode, 10 away from reaching 100 episodes in this podcast. I'm very, very excited about that. And I hope that you have a greater understanding of Jupiter, and most of the signs for Jupiter are in this podcast. If you have Jupiter in Taurus, and that's going to be coming later, probably much later. I'll have to see what I can do for that and how I want to do that, since I already did a video for it on my original on my channel. So I will see what I can do for that sometime. So tune in for that video. It's the last of these Jupiter videos. And, in this Jupiter series through the signs, this is Jupiter the planets. Most of the Jupiter videos are available, so I hope that you enjoyed this and got something out of it. And I will see you in the next episode, tomorrow's episode of the Cosmic Sky Podcast, where we'll be talking about, if you're watching this on the day that this is getting published, Pluto retrograde, collective, and I'm going to talk about the collective themes of Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, and then the transit, and then the 12 signs the day after for how it impacts your 12 signs. So if you're interested in that, tune in for tomorrow's episode. Anyway, bye for now, everyone. See you next time.